Hello and welcome to Raising the Barr, the go-to podcast for business owners and entrepreneurs looking to elevate their marketing game. Today, we have got a great guest for you. She is changing the beauty industry with her consultancy business, Chloe Mac. Ladies and gentlemen, Chloe.
Hi.
Chloe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, every little girl's dream is getting into the beauty industry. Tell us the journey. How did you end up in it?
I've always been interested in like beauty, cosmetics, makeup, hair stuff, fashion, just from being a young girl. My first job when I came out of uni was for a fashion company. I did a bit of design, a bit of marketing, a bit of everything kind of tied together. So I've just always been in that industry. And I actually met a girl from going to the gym who owned a multi-million-pound cosmetic company. She offered me a job to go and work for her. I started off doing marketing for her, was in the marketing team. We did all the social side of stuff. And then she was like, I really need help with the product development side of stuff. And if I'm totally honest, I'd never done anything like that before. So I sort of learned on the job, which I kind of feel like is the best way to get into things.
100%. The best way to learn is always on the job.
100%. When you have the opportunity to make mistakes, that's when you improve on things, because things that I did then, I would never do now, because it's like setting the bar of how to do things and 100%. Make sure that it's right. I used to be under a hellish amount of pressure because it was growing so fast. We were ordering 10,000 units of everything and trying to make sure that we were arranging shipments, we were arranging new formulas, we were arranging packaging. She didn't want to do things as in like off the shelf kind of product. A lot of people can use a stock style bottle or a stock style product and then make it their own by the design. She wanted to create molds for everything because she didn't want to be like anyone else on the market. The budget was uncapped. If something wasn't exactly how she wanted, we would do it again. So I actually do owe her a lot because she taught me so much about everything from start to finish. And yeah, that's where it's all come from, really.
Unbelievable. So obviously you've said to me before, people don't really know what I do. Yeah. And I think if we say to a lot of people out there, what is a beauty consultancy business? I know obviously you do skincare, the cosmetics, but break it down to us. What exactly does your business do? And what's your involvement for clients? I
actually found a bit of a gap in the market in terms of the company that I used to work for. They have in-house product development. They would never outsource it because they are such a big company. They want consistent things all the time. They would always do it in-house. But one day that I thought, what do people do when they're like small to medium-sized businesses that don't want something full-time? Like you might not want to develop 12 different products in a year. You might want to develop one, or you might be a hairdresser who sells other people's products in their salon, or you might be a beautician that sells other people's products. Well, the markup you're making on that is nowhere near what you could make if you brought your own products out. I thought there's got to be a gap in the market for someone who comes to me and I'll give them my knowledge as to how you make a product. So say, for example, one of my old clients, she's developed shampoos at the minute because she was selling other brand shampoos. So I said to her, like, why are you selling other people's? You can only make, 20-30% markup on buying something in and selling it out. And so we've spent nearly 12 months developing a shampoo and conditioner for her. So now she just stocks her own products. So every client that comes in there is then buying her products and the profit's going back into her pocket, which to anyone that is a small to medium business, why are you not doing that?
You've got to boost product. So let's look at that journey.
Yeah.
So obviously someone comes to you.
Yeah.
They're looking to launch their own shampoo. It could be a skincare product. It could be makeup.
Yeah.
How does that journey from conception through to delivery work with you?
So I try and keep it very customer based, because for me, if everyone came to me and I told them my ideas of what brand I think they should do, then everything would be the same. Whereas I try and guide them and I really try and toothpick exactly what they want out of their mind. So we start off by doing a visual exercise where I'll say, you tell me colours, brands, fonts, things that you like about a brand that you love. And I can normally pick the avenue that they want to go down by the fact that if they've put together all nudes and they like minimal, or they've put together all pink and they like really girly things. So we start off with that. And then we'll do a comp shop where they would go out and pick out products that they like and why they like those qualities. Then we'll have like a breakdown call and I'll say, right, so you've picked 10 formulas here or 5 formulas. What do you like about each one of those? So we'll do like a breakdown exercise so I can really get into what they like and what they don't like about certain products. Like
100%. And when we're looking at the brands in the beauty industry,
yeah,
I guess there's this big idea. We've talked about how the brand's going to look,
yeah,
packaging, etc.
Yeah.
Where does the style and substance sort of weigh up? What's the importance of how the brand's perceived, how it looks, and then the importance of what's actually in the bottle, so to speak?
So I think a lot of people will probably know this, but with formulations, there's obviously only so many ingredients you can put into a product that is safe to use on your face or safe to use on the eye or safe to use. And there's legalities with percentages that you're allowed to put in. They change all the time in terms of like legalities, dependent on country, dependent on location of sale, all that sort of stuff. But there's only so many things you can put on someone's skin or in someone's hair. And so a lot of the products that are out on the market are really similar products. Like a moisturizer, although it might have more of a certain ingredient, there's how many moisturizers on the market. So it's more about like how you package it, how you present it, where you sell it, what are you doing behind it, the marketing side of it. So there's not one element that makes a product unbelievable. Products like what I also say with brands, like with clothing, for example, a style is a style. So you either like it or you don't. It either fits you nice or it doesn't. With cosmetics and hair care and skincare, people are not that loyal to one brand. So they would test multiple brands and say, I like this for this or I'd like that for that. And girls will buy. I've got so many foundations. I've got so many mascaras. And I test different ones and see what I like about them. And one day I might use one and one day I might use another. You're not that loyal to a brand, for example. So it is about a combination of the product doing what it says it's going to do, a combination of it looking good, so people like it, like the feel of it, think it looks nice, and also how you sell it afterwards and where you place that.
So if we look at the products on the market,
yeah,
and unfortunately I'm not an expert on foundations and makeup.
Are you not?
But if we look at some of the products I know, let's take a Creme de la Mer cream.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a bit of that when I've been in the sun. Obviously,
that's expensive taste.
That is, I've got expensive taste. What can I say? My mother taught me well.
Yes, she did.
But if we look at the Creme de la Mer,
yeah,
and we look at the Boots alternative,
yeah.
Even if we look at shampoos, when you go into a premium hairdresser, you've got the Kerastase, which I'm sure I pronounced wrong there.
Yes, love this.
And then we've got something like
Tresemme.
Tresemme, yeah. Or,
not digging out Tresemme, by the way.
The anti-dandruff one?
Yeah, Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders, yeah, Head and Shoulders. So if we look at those alternatives, the Creme de la Mer and another cream, is that, in your opinion, a branding, a marketing aspect that's inflated the price to where it is, or is it an ingredient-based?
I do think there's elements of both. Yeah. Now, I know, so for example, with like your La Mer, the ingredients are probably better. The factory that it's made in is a European factory, or I actually don't know where that one's made, but a lot of like the lower quality things would be made out of China. But it doesn't mean that the products are bad. It just means that the cost of it is cheaper to make, if I'm honest. I think it's a combination of ingredient percentages, the quality of the packaging, the design and the branding as well, because they've built this brand to be creme de la creme. It's almost like you're the same with clothing. You can get a top that you buy from Chanel that's $2,000, or you can buy a top that's a really similar style from Pretty Little Thing.
Yeah.
And it's just the same sort of thing with foundations, makeup, like
100%. So on the branding journey there, people are going out, picking the concepts in the market they like, working back from there.
Yeah.
In terms of the product, we've spoke before about this reverse development idea.
Yeah.
How does this reverse engineering work for products?
So what we always tend to do after they've done like a comp shop type thing and they've picked ideas that they like, we have a process that is called reverse engineering, when you can send off products that you like and we do a reverse engineering process, and that will basically tell me what is in the product. You're not copying them because you can't do that, but you can find out elements that are in that brand and then figure out what you want to put in to make it different, to make it similar. So it's just about reversing it and then building it back up to be something different. And it's a clever way of knowing what works. You go out and you like this product. Why do you like this product? You like this product because it's really hydrating, or you like it because it's very glowy, or whatever the product is. It just gives you a breakdown of what's in that, and then we can really knuckle down on adding extra things to make it better.
100%. I mean, I always say to people, unique ideas do not exist. Like maybe once every 10 years, someone has a unique idea, but in reality, we've all got to take inspiration from everywhere.
Of course. Yeah. And I go into Selfridges and I am in this industry. So the Selfridges in Manchester that's got the bit downstairs where it's all cosmetic stuff, I bet there's maybe 50 products that are different. They've all got similar things. They do similar things to the skin or the hair or whatever it is. There's not that many things you can put on your face. So it's not a new idea, really, unless you're developing something from scratch that's never been done. And one brand that does this really, really well is Refi, Jess Hunt's brand. They are unbelievable at creating concepts that have never been done before. So they'll put like 3 products in one, or they did a mascara with a brush that's curved. When it comes down to being innovative, you have to have the budget to do it, because you can actually create anything possible. This is like when I used to work for Paige. She had molds created for every product because she didn't want anyone else to be able to have it. And if you pay for a mold to be done that's like a heart-shaped tub that's never been done, that's your mold then. So no one else is going to copy that. Same with Jess, how she does it with Refi. The Ben mascara brush is a mold that's been created from her, but she's done that herself, and she's probably spent years developing that.
And so we said there, obviously, you're sourcing products from all over the world. What challenges does that present? Because I'm sure for everyone listening, they've ordered something on Alibaba or AliExpress and you think it's going to look unbelievable, and it arrives and it is
terrible,
probably unrecognisable to what you ordered.
Do you know what? People say this, and I don't slate Alibaba, because there's certain aspects that you think, yeah, it's cheap, it's got some good stuff on there. But the problem is with that, you don't actually know where you're buying it from. I have had many people that have tried to cut the corners and not utilise me and go onto Alibaba and get something themselves because they think they can source the factories, and it's not really the same process, because you don't know who you're working with. You don't know whether the legalities are correct. So the main thing for me is the legals, because you just want to make sure that everything is right. So my factories, I've been to visit them for starters, so I know where everything comes out of. I've been round millions of factories and found a factory for each product. So I've got the best hair care factory that I want to work with. I've got a skincare factory. I've got everything. I know that what I'm getting out of that factory is correct. So when it comes to the legal documents, when you use factories that are off like Alibaba and stuff, they have a sheet that's a fake sheet. So it's not actually in line with what the product is. So if you sent it off to a legal woman, they would pass it, but what they're passing is not the correct document, whereas mine's done per product. So like every time I've done a product, they'll say, right, these are the ingredients for that product. And I know what I'm getting is the correct thing. When you're working with someone that you've never met before, that is just on an online presence, you don't necessarily get the same service.
I think one of the things people don't realise about China as well is we were working with a client out there last year, and they'd been through this process with China.
Yeah.
And when you actually dig to the bottom of it, even when people think they've found that factory, you find what's the front factory.
Yeah.
Then behind that is another factory.
Yeah.
If you actually go down to where your products are being produced, it can be 8 steps removed.
Oh, 100%.
From that first factory, up in the mountains, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's just a glossy showroom sort of thing.
And this has taken me months, years of development and finding which ones I've been done over loads of times on things that I thought were right and they're not. Yeah. But you learn from that. And because this is my sole business, like you can't be developing products that you're trying to chase some factory off Alibaba when I literally have been to the factories, I've sourced them, I've seen products be developed. I've actually sat with the suppliers and made formulas for my clients, like to get samples ready and stuff. Like I video call them, I speak to the engineer all the time. Like it's having a relationship that I've built over time to know that what I'm getting is right. And also a massive, massive thing with working with international factories is a language barrier. I've got people now that are like on the ground there for me. So if I have a problem or something's not correct, she'll translate it, or she can go and visit the factories if there's a problem, or you're just never going to have that when you ordering on a website where you don't know where it's from.
And you said about the legalities there.
Yeah.
What are the consequences for beauty brands if they neglect or fuck up on the legalities?
Oh, I just would, well, you could just get sued. Like there's been so many times where things can get seized at customs if they've not got the right documentation. That comes with all the shipping. So I've had a friend who did something that wasn't cosmetic based, it was electronic, and all that got seized at customs because their legalities were not correct and it wasn't within UK laws.
So on that product development journey, obviously you've done the branding to the clients, tastes, they've had their input on the product as well.
Yeah.
How much does your knowledge of what customers want, market trends, things like that play in the journey?
I'll always advise them. And if there's like key ingredients that have come up that are going to be like buzzwords, or you'll often find that like TikTok blows things up. Everyone was saying at one point last year, like sleeping castor oil and it makes your hair grow 25 inches overnight. So that kind of stuff. I know about buzzwords and what would come in, and I would always try and guide them. Like, if you can put something in, this is good for this is good for that. And to be honest, I let the client guide it, because it's not my brand. It's me creating something that you want to create. So if you're really eco-green and you want everything organic and you want it all vegan and cruelty-free and all that, absolutely, all my factories can complete all of those things. Perfect. But some people aren't that bothered about that stuff, are they? So
no, some people just want a nice shiny product.
This is what I want it to look like, make it happen. So I let the client guide it, really.
Okay, perfect. So the client's very much guiding the process.
Yeah.
You're the one executing the knowledge, the know-how, the connections within the industry.
And I try and guide them in sort of a way where it's not my idea going to them. It's, why don't you do this? Or have you thought about this? Or my designer's added this. What do you think of this? And then more often than not, they're like, yeah, I love that. Let's keep that. Let's not. But yeah, I want it to be their vision that is created so that whatever they've thought of is realistically in their hand.
Okay, perfect. And I guess as the years goes by, the ideas get more and more out there.
Yeah, they do.
People's wants get bigger and bigger.
People's budgets also need to get bigger and bigger for that.
Budgets need to get bigger. How do you make those connections in the market to keep moving forward, to keep having new suppliers to be able to achieve that?
I do attend quite a lot of like trade shows. There's a really big one in Vegas that I do. There's one in Bologna, there's one in Hong Kong, where all the suppliers go. So I try and make a conscious effort to at least go to like 1 or 2 of those a year, just because you meet new people all the time, and you can never have too many factories, because if one fuck up on something, I want a backup. And I now have around 40 factories that I really trust and work with on a like regular basis, but I would like to be able to have an unlimited amount of people, so that if I ever need anything, I've always got a backup. And at the trade shows, it's the perfect way to meet new people and just kind of like build your book of knowledge.
I love it. So the whole journey is really empowering clients. We've looked at how you develop these products, bring some fantastic things to market. I know some of the success stories you've had.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the market a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So the changes in the beauty industry over the last 4 or 5 years must eclipse anything that's happened in the 25 years previous. Oh. The whole market seems to have been turned on its head.
Yeah.
There's people disrupting it left, right, and centre. There's brands emerging that 5-6 years ago, someone could not disrupt the market with the budgets they are.
No.
Like, it was the big players like Estee Lauder, those big houses. Now there's kids like, there's Mitch coming in with, straight out of Manchester, disrupting the market. There's people like you mentioned,
Paige,
and all these people coming. How has the beauty market changed, and what's happening?
Do you know what? Honestly, it's all TikTok. It is all TikTok. TikTok has grown the market because it's given younger people a chance to be able to get so excited about the beauty industry. Like, I feel like I watched this podcast the other day, and they put some mad percentages on it where they were saying like the beauty market's grown like 40%, and the age category has gone even younger, and it's getting younger and younger. So like, obviously Drunk Elephant went mental on TikTok because all these kids were using it, which by the way, they shouldn't be, because it's got active ingredients in it. But like the fact that they've been looking at it and it's on there and it's aesthetic for them to look at, and the growth on TikTok, like Mitch did £1 million in 12 hours on TikTok the other day.
So TikTok, because obviously a lot of industries have concentrated very much on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is it TikTok that's really taken off of the beauty industry?
1,000,000%.
And is that largely down to the fact there's TikTok shop where you can instantly buy?
I feel like it's just convenient, isn't it? You see something you like, you double click, and it's at your door the next day or the day after. Like, I am a nightmare for TikTok shop. I literally see something I like and double click, and there it is. So I think because it's so convenient, and the way that they've made it so easy to buy things, and the way that you can scroll and all the things you like come up, and the way that people are creating content, like Mitch and Paige are both amazing at creating content. So it's one of them where it's attractive, and younger people are going on it. So you're looking at beauty products from age 6. Like, we weren't doing that. I was playing on the street age 6.
Oh, exactly. I think it's changed so much in that the younger people have so much more interest in it.
Yeah.
And they're actually got their own purchasing power to some extent now.
I think because with Instagram, people build their Instagrams for like 10 years and don't get anywhere near the following that they will on TikTok. TikTok's a much easier platform to grow. And the more you put into the app, the more you get out of it. So it's almost like if you're consistently creating content that's new, that's exciting, that's showing all these swatches, like people are loving those like ASMR videos and stuff. And to do that with cosmetics is really easy. So it's like creating stuff that's interesting and engaging, and you can literally just blow off on it.
And when people are coming to you, do they very much identify the demographic they're going after? Do they say this is a product aimed at teenagers, this is a product aimed at over 30s, or?
Normally they would, yeah. A lot of people that I've been working with at the moment are a smaller business that are wanting to stock something in their salons, where they want to take out brands that they've currently been stocking and replace it with something of theirs. They already know their client because it's people that come into the shop, or it's people that already buy off them other products.
And with minimum quantity orders, because I know that's what, if we look at a lot of industries, it's always put people off importing from the likes of China, Turkey, Pakistan, etc., has been the fact you have to take such large quantities.
7 million units.
7 million units, yeah. It's a flashback to when I was 14, I decided to do my first ever business.
No, stop, love that though.
Do you remember those? Do you remember those yellow Livestrong bands?
Yes.
Everyone was wearing. So I'm in America, came across a supplier of them. I thought, a lot of money in this. Ordered 10,000 of them. They're going to be at my house 2 weeks later in the UK.
No, don't.
I had them sold everywhere. Everyone in my school had bought one. They're going for $5 each. I'd got them for about 30p. It took 6.5 months to arrive. You can ask my mum, there's still 999 Livestrong bags in the sink.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Minimum quantities put people off. Delivery times put people off.
Yeah.
How do you manage those quantities? How do smaller businesses operate?
One of the things that is good about working with consistent factories is that I have a little bit of pull with that sort of stuff. So say you were just a random person going, they're not going to reduce quantities that much. But because I put so much through that factory, and because I'm good at negotiating with them, I can be quite lenient on the minimum order quantities. Any factory would say to you, you've got to take 10,000 units. That's the minimum. You can always get them down to 5 without even really battling them. And then dependent on formula and dependent on packaging design and all that sort of stuff, I can normally wingle them down even further than that. And I've got ways where I can, like, you buy the packaging and you only have to fill 1,000 of them, and you can do it as like a drop. But you can only do that when you've built relationships with them. I've got clients at the moment that ordered 5,000 of the bottles, but they only filled 1,000 of each of them. They've had those shipped, and once they've sold, they'll have the others filled. So it saves space for the client. It helps with cash flow. And because I put so much through the factory as well, and there's loads of different things going on at once, I'm really good with like helping them with the cash flow thing. So they won't have to pay for it all up front. They can pay like a deposit, and then we've got payment terms with them and things like that. So there's ways around it, but I just have to be cheeky. Yeah.
And I guess that also helps with things like expiry dates and that. You're not filling your bottles early.
Exactly, because no client that's a smaller client wants to have 5,000 of their products sat in the back, because most of the ingredients will be 12 months. So they don't want to be sat on all that stock. So once they've sold it, we can then get another order in, and it helps them move along, and it also helps with sell-by dates and stuff.
100%. So for a business owner, they're sat there and they're thinking, they've got a salon, they're doing really well selling X, Y, and Z products.
But why are you doing that?
But they're only making 15, 20, 30% margin.
Yeah.
What are the financial benefits for a salon of going with their own product? Because like you mentioned before, there's the upfront cost.
Yeah.
But what's the long-term benefit? What kind of changes can it make?
The profit margins on products is the biggest that you can ever imagine. It's hard to give rough examples because every product is different, but you could buy a shampoo for, say, £2, and then you're selling that out at 40 quid.
Quite a result, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a result. And you're not buying anyone else's product at £2. Yeah. So
100%.
Long term, the upfront cost of it is higher because you're actually having to invest back into the business. But if you've got a bit of budget behind you to do that, I would say it's an absolute no-brainer for anyone that has a small to medium business and is selling other products. It baffles me that people are still selling other people's stuff.
So obviously TikTok Shop came to the market, changed the beauty industry, put the young people on the map. Yeah. We've now got the YouTube shop coming out shortly.
Oh yeah, I did actually,
so Sam was telling us about that on a previous podcast. You're going to be able to shop live from videos.
Wow.
So that will mean people can do long format things where you'll also have that shopping ability.
Yeah. They're trying to keep up with TikTok, really, aren't they? There,
it's all moving forward.
It's moving fast.
Yeah. What else do you think are big trends coming into the beauty industry at the minute could change the way things are done?
The one big thing that I do think is having an effect now is micro influencers. Back in the day when everyone started using influencers and paying them to endorse their product, yeah. Now, micro influencers won't take an upfront cost. They'll just make a commission off what they sell for you on behalf of, and that's really changing the game. Like working with smaller people that have got higher insights that are selling way more than what you would expect. Like,
oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing across the beauty industry, isn't it? That the barriers to entry have just been brought down.
Yeah.
So beforehand, realistically, to get a beauty brand with mainstream exposure, you had to be on television adverts, magazines, radio, newspapers, billboards. You were looking at a budget of millions and millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Now people are launching with smaller quantity orders, TikTok, everything like that, micro influencers.
One of my really good friends launched a tan brand last year called Forever Sundays, and he created a product that was basically like a face sculpt that you slept in the tan and you woke up and your face was snatched. And he thought of the idea from seeing people on TikTok that were putting mousse into a lid and using it to sculpt the face and sleep in it. So he created this product. It was amazing. That went viral on TikTok, and he's now going into retailers. He's been offered deals with loads of different retailers from building a brand through TikTok Shop. Like it wasn't even a brand 12 months ago.
It's unbelievable. So within a 12-month period of launch to being in mainstream
and
retail.
He has POs from people, and he's having conversations with people that are like big retailers that want to stock the brand. And it's amazing to see that from an idea that he's just thought of that he wants to create. He's built a brand that's so well known and like that retailers are asking him for it. Like that doesn't normally happen, does it? Like how long would it take someone for a retailer or to be having conversations with people like that? The growth that you can get from a cosmetic and beauty brand these days is amazing. It's consistency.
And do you think there's any new products coming to the market that maybe ones that people haven't been interested before, where there's going to be a bit of an upturn in them?
Do you know what? It could happen at any time. With people like Refi, they brought something out last week that's not been done before, where they put 3 products into one. And just like the way they market that, they've really, really hit the nail on the head with that branding. Even when we go to these trade shows, you see stuff and you think, wow, that's amazing. Like, why has that never been brought out before? So there's always new things changing and new things. It's just, honestly, the best industry for growth.
There's a lot going on in this industry. Mm-hmm. And if we look at the people out there.
Yeah.
So obviously you've gone out there, you've created a wonderful brand for someone.
Yeah.
We've got products that look great on the shelf or on social media. Inside the bottle, we've got the things that do the jobs they should do.
Yeah.
How often do people have to be rethinking their products? Is having one set of products enough, or do you have to constantly be introducing new products to the market?
I think it depends what you want. Say you want a brand like Forever Sundays, for example. He's launched this product and he's got retailers that are after him now. To stick on like 2 items, like they're going to get bored quite quick. So if you want a product that's going to sit in your shop, that you're going to sell, that is your best seller, and you're not bothered about like growth, or you're not bothered about getting it into retailers, or really bothered about getting it on TikTok Shop or doing anything like that, then those clients probably don't need newness all the time. They just need that product that sells really well for them because they know they're going to sell it repetitively. Whereas someone like my friend who does Forever Sundays, he needs newness because he wants to disrupt the market all the time, and he wants to create viral things. And that's another thing that like Mitchell and Paige do really well as well, because they're always developing new stuff. There's always something exciting in the pipeline. They're forever thinking of ways to like develop, whether it's a new shade of something or a new formula completely or totally new range. Like they're always forward thinking. So I think it depends what you want from your brand.
Oh yeah, it's just staying one step ahead of the game.
Yeah. Which everyone wants to be, really, don't they?
And on that trend, what's next for Chloe Mac Cosmetics? What did the future hold?
Do you know what? I actually get asked all the time, why haven't I brought my own brand out? And I do think at some point I would probably like to do that, because I've got all the skills, all the knowledge. I've got the whole team around me to actually do that. But right now I'm just sort of building everyone else's dreams at the minute. But yeah, I'm doing a couple of really big fun projects at the minute, which I've kind of got my teeth stuck into. I wish I could say more than that, but I feel like I can't because I'm under NDA.
Well, we look forward to seeing them released. Yeah. So, Chloe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great to find out more about the branding and the marketing that goes into these cosmetics and skincare brands. But before you leave us today, what are the 3 top tips for making a successful beauty brand?
Be consistent. Success doesn't happen overnight. So you've just got to be patient, because especially if you're developing products, product development is a long-winded process. So yeah, be consistent, be patient, and make sure you get all your legals correct.
I love it. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Chloe. I really appreciate that. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Raising the Bar. We've got some unbelievable guests coming up over the next few weeks. So remember to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you consume our podcasts. And we look forward to you joining us again next week. Thank you very much.